how does awareness be aware of itself? And Nisargadatta said that even in deep sleep, he's aware of the deep sleep. So I just want to understand those two. And then what would be the nature of that awareness if it knows itself?
That is, as Bhagavan says, the real awareness is only the pure being awareness, Satchit. That awareness I am. Awareness always knows itself. Even when awareness is mixed and conflated with adjuncts in the form of ego, it still knows, it knows itself just by being itself. That is, if you want to put it explain it in a logical way, we cannot be aware without being aware that we are aware. That is, being aware entails being aware that we're aware. And being aware that we're aware entails being aware that we are. So the fundamental knowledge or fundamental awareness is only the awareness I am. Bhagavan is very clear about this. Nisargadatta, I don't know what words he used in Marathi. Someone told me one of the words he used is Sambit. But anyway, in the English translations of Nisargadatta's teachings, a distinction is made between awareness and consciousness. And I think they use consciousness seems to refer to ego, that which is aware of other things, whereas awareness refers to oneself. But it's very, very confusing. If you go into, at least I don't know what he said in Marathi, but in the English books, there's a huge amount of confusion in Nisargadatta. For example, he often talks about I am. Sometimes he talks about I am as if it's the reality. Sometimes he says I am is the first to rise. I am doesn't rise. I am is our being. What rises is ego, which is the adjunct conflated awareness. I am this body. So it's in Nisargadatta, that is, Bhagavan makes things, if we pay close attention to what Bhagavan is saying, Bhagavan makes it very, very clear. Whereas in at least what has been recorded of Nisargadatta's teachings seems to be full of inconsistencies and contradictions. So there are many people who say, oh, Nisargadatta teaches the same as Bhagavan. But if you pay close attention, it seems to be something very, very different from Bhagavan, actually. If we understand Bhagavan correctly, what Nisargadatta's teaching is, it's not clear what it is, but it's certainly not, it lacks the clarity of Bhagavan's teachings. I am means I exist. So it's our being, our existence, but I am refers to. So
right, and I think
being is eternal. Sometimes Nisargadatta talks about beyond I am. How can we go beyond our being? Our being is what is most fundamental. Anything beyond our being is non-being. That doesn't exist. So it's confusing. So let's leave aside Nisargadatta. We don't have to go there because we've got Bhagavan's teachings. Let's pay close attention to Bhagavan's teaching and understand what Bhagavan is teaching. So from the perspective of Bhagavan's teachings, whether you say awareness or consciousness, it doesn't matter. Bhagavan used a number of words in Tamil. As I say, he used the word arivu, he used the word unavu, he used the word jnana, and there are various other words in different contexts that he used. But they're all, sometimes he just used the word light. In verse 16 of Upadeshundaya, he says, the mind knowing its own form of light alone is the real awareness. Knowing its own form of light means knowing that pure awareness I am. And we can know that only by being that. So consciousness or awareness knows itself just by being itself. If it didn't know itself, if it wasn't aware of itself, it wouldn't be consciousness, it wouldn't be awareness.
So is it possible for awareness to be aware that the body is in deep sleep? That's the question, I guess.
That which is aware of the body is not the real awareness. That is the adjunct conflated awareness called ego. So only ego can know body. If someone says they know body when they're asleep, then they're not asleep, because in sleep there's no body or world or anything. Bhagavan is very, very clear about that. For example, in verse 10 of Ulutunapduanabandam, he says, the body is insentient like a pot. Since the shining called I does not exist for it, since our nature exists daily in sleep, in which the body does not exist. He says very clearly, Jadalam il tuinil. That means in sleep, when the body is non-existent, the body does not exist. Therefore, the body is not I. So Bhagavan is very, very clear. In sleep, there is neither body nor world, because body and world exist only in the view of ego. In the absence of ego, nothing else exists. As he says in verse 26 of Ulutunapadu, Ahande undayan anatum undahum. If ego comes into being, everything comes into being. Ahande indrail indru anatum. If ego doesn't exist, everything doesn't exist. Since ego doesn't exist in sleep, everything doesn't exist. There's no body, no world, no mind, nothing in sleep. So anyone who says, I know the body in sleep, doesn't know what they're talking about. Then someone will say, oh, but it's recorded somewhere, but Bhagavan said he knows the snoring. I don't know whether Bhagavan actually said that. If he said that, he's just joking, because he makes it very clear for the jnani is unaware of whether the body is asleep or waking or in nishta. It's all the same, because for the jnani, it's firmly established in Turiya, which is the one real state for which there is no waking dream or sleep. So people hear what Bhagavan says, but they fail to understand what he's talking about, and then they come up with their own imagination. But Bhagavan is knowing the body when he's asleep, or that is, Bhagavan is very, very clear and explicit. There is no body to know in sleep. And in the state of jnana, there's nothing to know other than ourself, whichever knows itself.